Hey, I'm Lynn. Thanks for checking out my comics closet. I'm going to show some stuff for Neil's. It's a giveaway. His 300 sub giveaway, I believe it is. 300 sub giveaway. He's got like 375 now. So he's giving away a slab and some other things. He has a whole list if you want to go check him out. I'll see if I can figure out how to put, connection to his video with mine. I don't know. I've never done it. But you can link him up. Neil's Comics and Video Games. Well, this one I forgot. This is our horror themed video. So I was just going to show some stuff I have this horror themed. I've been watching horror movies. I loved horror movies ever since I was a little kid. I remember when I think I was 8 or 9, when did the original Night of the Living Dead, and we used to buy books when we were in grade school it was like a little newspaper, but it was, the size of a comic book about, and it had all the books in it. It was called the Scholastic Reader. And you could buy books for $1 each. Your folks, you'd mark out the books you wanted, turn it back to your teacher, and your parents would give you the money for whatever books you had to pay for them. But you got books. I read a lot when I was a kid. I mean, everything, even 4 comic books. But I remember there was a review talking about the Night of the Living Dead, and whoever was writing it, which I think was like a middle schooler or something at the time, was just horrified by it. No redeeming value, how terrible it was, people biting, eating guts and all that. I'm sure everybody's seen it. I haven't really even looked at this, but because then I found this to put in front. But once I read that review, I had to see it. And I think I was 9 at the time, because it had just come out, and I didn't see it probably till I was, maybe preteen. I was probably a teenager before I ever really saw it. My folks weren't gonna let me see something like that. It was rated almost like X back then. It was super hard R or whatever they call it. I don't know. But I did see it when it finally came out, and I mean when I was old enough to go to a movie and see it, it was probably edited, but I thought it was awesome back then. You see it now, of course. But I mean, actually, one of my favorites of all the zombies, and I always think zombies were like one of the more horrifying monsters ever. I mean, when I was a kid, little kid even, we loved vampires, and I always was a big werewolf fan. But I think this is one of the best zombie movies that are out there. I mean, it's got a little humor. Sometimes it gets a little bit crazy, but it's got some great scenes. Sarah Polley, at the beginning, she's a nurse, and busy life, and you can see little things around that are happening, but you really don't know at first. But if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, because I'm sure most people have seen it. But when it begins, and I just think it's a good movie for a zombie movie. This is the new Scream. I haven't seen it. I haven't even watched it yet. I got this at the Motor City Comic Con. It was a booth for a radio station, and they were giving away stuff at the end of the day. And if you want to see a horror movie, not horrors, but this Dead Girl is the zombie movie, I guess. It was like these guys find a zombie lady basement of some, I don't know if it's a lab, university, something, abandoned place. And don't let your kids watch that. So anyway, those are some horror movies. And that's what I found this in the box of comics, actually. I thought it was all mostly magazines, but this was in there, which is a comedy based on horror, I guess. The Weird World of Mr. and Mrs. J. Evil Scientist, Hanna-Barbera. But I remember this cartoon when I was a kid, Saturday morning cartoons. If you don't know what that is, yeah, I'm old. But look it up. But this was just like they had little segments of short cartoons, but a lot of them turned into comics, I guess. And then, like I said, Night of the Living Dead. This is an updated, this is number 1, Sins of the Father, which I actually bought this at Ollie's Outlet, $2.99. And I have a lot of zombie stuff just to get it. I wanted to see what this artwork was, or if it was, I mean, it was pretty crazy. And I think I read it. I don't remember now. But there was that, and then I did find all these in a box of well, magazines. I was going to open the box of magazines, but I started looking through it, and it's mostly like comics. It's actually a lot of Tiger yearbooks. But anyway, yeah, I found this in there, which is like the Chilling Tales of Horror, and it's like the magazine style, which I used to love these. I had a lot of the Conan when I was a kid. Of course, I don't have any of that stuff that I had as a kid. Yeah, Chilling Tales of Horror, 50-cent magazine. I had to get it out. I'm not even sure what year. It's got a girl in a bikini and a table. Looks like these monsters are getting ready to do something. We'll see what we have here. 1976. February 76, I believe it says. So, Chilling Tales of Horror. Get this out of the way. And then I have this is Scream, the saga of the Frankenstein monster. One of the stories, there's like an anthology, I would say. And this is July 1974. Skywald Horror Mood publication. I'm not sure what. I must have gotten these out of somebody's collection. Show these really quick. Nightmare. Oh, another Skywald Horror Mood publication. I think it's 1974 also. That's 73. Number 14, August 73. And then this, okay. 1974 Nightmare Yearbook. And this looks like vampires, werewolves, and ghouls. It's got looks like 4 different issues. Must be a collection of the best, And I used to get all the old. I had the original Vampire Roll books, which weren't all about her back then. No, they were the same thing, anthology type stories that she was introducing in between, like the Crypt Keeper. And this is a Marvel preview of the Masters of Terror, number 16. This doesn't have the year on the front. I should have done a little more research on these. Like I say, I've been home alone with the dog. Very busy. Just spoiled rotten. Did I ever see this stuff anymore? Oh, this is 1978. Masters of Terror, 1978, which year I graduated high school. I also do have, these are all, I opened these on I think my last video. I had signed by Garth Ennis, right? No, these were signed by Ben Templesmith. I just had some other ones, which I think were the Chronicles of Wormwood, signed by Garth Ennis. Yeah, Ben Templesmith, which I didn't realize really, but they have some. I think he wrote these though more than. I'm not sure if he's the artist or the writer now. These are horror movies, books though. That's Wormwood's, head out of like a woman's body with a glowing fetus. I don't know. There were some strange books. And Witchblade, which I had signed. Well, I didn't have them signed. I got these in the collection, and they were already signed, so I had them verified by CBCS, and they came back at a 6.5 and an 8.5. Which is when I know, I thought it might be a little better after they pressed it, but. And then we have Spawn, which is, I consider a horror type comic. He's somewhat superhero-ish, but they had some horror themes. And Walking Dead, of course. Let me move this if you see them. And Walking Dead 1, but it's the Walking Dead Deluxe. I did have Walking Dead 1, which I bought as a back issue. And I sold it at a time that I was laid off. I think I sold it like 2 or 3 weeks before the show started on eBay for $365, raw. It had a bend. It was like a bend at an angle. You could see it, but it was like 12 years ago. But it could have been pressed out. I'm sure whoever bought it had it pressed out. But, I have, I think, Walking Dead, the original series from number 17 pretty sure I have first Michonne. I think that's 19, and everything's after that, plus a lot of the spin-off type series and that. And then there's something that's Killing the Children, which I think that's 16, which I bought specifically because Tinian was, James Tinian IV, who wrote it, was signing at CGC, and I knew this was supposed to be a big book. I also bought this one, but I just bought this. It's a tip of a variant cover, but it's nothing rare. I've seen them, I think it's $100, $110 book maybe. So if the series ever comes out, and this is all the Raws I have. I think I have 8, 9, most of everything else up to now. See, this is 16, which I bought just to put in for Tinian, but I believe this 16 is their like the origin of Erica Slaughter. I'm not sure. I haven't read the actual books. I read it like a synopsis, and I have the collected issues. But this is they pretty much the full series. I have the what do you call them? There was like a 5-issue bundle with art done by a certain artist. What's this archetype of art? Does it say? And the Slaughter pack. I bought 2 of the Slaughter packs, 1 through 5 and 5 through 10. And then I think I have almost everything up to current, except a couple of them. I'm not sure. I may have all of them. They may all be first prints. I have it like 8th print of number 1, which I think looks just like number 1. So anyway, I have the Something That's Killing the Children. These are all CBCS. I just got my first step back, and I opened in my last video, I believe. And then I pulled out these other ones because they're horror related. So that was all for Neil's sake. Oh, okay. So now that's what else we got to do. We can do shout out. You want to do a shout out for 5 different shout outs. 2 for people over 1,000, and 2 for people under 100, and then a random one. But the people that were under 100, and I don't know. This guy is CWSA. I have his logo up there. He has 5 subs. He has 5 videos. And his last one was out like 4 days ago. I checked it out for a minute. Like I said, I just looked him up today. So I subbed up to him. I was already subbed to him because I watched something before, obviously. And then, check him out. I'm trying to, like I say, if you want under 100, I'm under 10. This is 5. Oh, and you know what? CWSA, I believe all of his videos were like Comic Cons. Him going to different Comic Cons. Yeah, I don't remember where they were from now. I watched part of the first one of them. I think the last one he put out, that was 4 days ago. Okay, and then also I have Slick Nick's Comics and Toys. Yeah, Slick Nick Comics and Toys. He has 3 subs. He has 1 video, which he put out a year ago. I don't remember what it is now. I did look at it because I was trying to find. I was already subbed up to him because I watched it before and I remember seeing it. But I only have like 4 or 5 people that I'm not subbed. That are less than 1,000. I have a few people that I subbed up to them just because I talked to them. They subbed up to me. They don't even have video. Now my over 1,000, I'm going to do, the first I'm going to do is, he doesn't need any help. He's got 21.4 thousand videos. But it's the reason I kind of got started doing this. The reason I was watching his videos when I decided to start slapping up my books and going through them, and I have a lot more books I need to go through and get slapped. But very Gary Comics. If you don't know who he is, you're not really into comics much. And a lot of people don't want to watch him. It's not your thing. It's not your thing. I like to watch the collections he buys. Sometimes you get some great deals on them, but people have the choice to sell them or not. I know I talked to some guys at the comic store, and that's one of the arguments they have. Some of the guys don't like it that he, buys people's comics, and they sell them for way less than they're worth. But they don't know anything about them. Probably a lot of them, some of them do, but don't want to go through the trouble, or they'd do it. So besides that, I may start looking into getting some collections. I'm retired a couple years. I may invest in that. Well, my other, for over 1,000, is Danny Girl Comics and Collectibles. And actually, I've tried to watch it. I haven't been watching a whole lot anyway. I'm so busy. but I watched her and her son. My first time I realized who she was, and they were opening up some Miles Morales books, and it was just, I thought they were so fun to watch because, you know, her, I think he looked like he was about 10 or maybe 12, but I don't know. I forget what they said now. It was a long time ago when I watched that video. I've watched a couple since then, and I see she's really grown. I think she was, I don't know, she was pretty small. I mean, it was a few months ago when I started watching her. So anyway, she's really good. It was great content, I think. So I was shouting her out. I just, you check her out. She seems like a really sweet lady. And so, and then what is there? Oh, there was the random one. But these guys are still comic related, but they're, you know, well, like their name says, they're the pop culture junkies. And I don't know, there's usually this one guy, and he kind of looks like he's in a video screen. And then he has, you know, the content, what he's showing, be it, I think the last video they did is talking about the Little Mermaid. I started watching part of it, because I think even, I don't know, they were saying, why did they change it? I don't know. Actually, they were saying that if it stuck to the original movie, I believe, or the original novel or story, I don't think it was kind of a short story, right? Hans Christian Andersen, she didn't even hardly look human, so. I remember reading the story of The Little Mermaid when I was a kid, and none of those stories were spooky. When I was a kid in the 60s, those fairy tales and Mother Goose, so that stuff's scary. Look it up. But anyway, Pop Culture Junkies. Their last video was up like 2 hours before I looked it up, which was earlier today. And they have 375 subscribers, so they're just growing, and I thought that would be a good one that's kind of in the middle. Because, you know, say I got Slick Nick's Comics and Toys, have 3. CSWA, I don't know what that meant, he has 5, with 5 videos. I think his last one was 4 days ago. And then there's Danny Girl Comics and Collectibles, 1.25K, 1,250. And Very Gary Comics, which is 21.4. He's got a lot. But I mean, I've bought books off him at Terrificon. He does Whatnot auctions every Tuesday. So I haven't bought any auction books from him. I'm not really buying a bunch of auction stuff right now. I'm looking at shows if I can get a good deal. I'm still looking for my Silver Surfer stuff. So anyway, there's my shout outs. I hope that works. Actually, I think I have 53 subscribers. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to figure out something to give away, do a giveaway when I hit to 100. So I'm not really sure even how that happens. And one other thing. First of all, hope you liked all that and silliness at the beginning. But if you could give me a thumbs up, you know, comment. I need some help out here. And share and subscribe. You know, I'm still looking for subscribers. I've had a few people say, you know, they're going to start spreading the word. So like I say, I'm trying to get out, and I have gotten out one video a week since I believe the end of January. So, but I'm going to cut back, you know, as of today, as of last week actually, 2 videos a month. I may try to put out some smaller content in between. I do have some stuff saved up I'm going to put out, I believe. I got to get it together. So anyway, I really appreciate, I was going to show that coming up on November 11th through the 13th, is the Grand Rapids Comic Con here in Michigan. In Grand Rapids, November 11th through 13th. We're in gun season's the 15th, so I don't know if I'll be able to make that. If I have a deer already, I might. I don't recognize any of the authors. But like I said, that's kind of a hard weekend for me to go. It depends on what's going on. This is the Motor City Comic Con, which is at the Suburban Showcase Collection in Novi. And it's going to have Loretta Swit and Jamie Farr from MASH. Danny Lloyd from The Shining. The little kid from The Shining. But she's like 50 now, right? No. Booker T, wrestling legend. Laurie Holden for Walking Dead, who is Angela? Yeah, Angela. Celebrity guests are Jim Beaver from Supernatural, Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who, and Alice Cooper. So I had to find something to have Alice Cooper sign. I've seen him a couple times. He's a big Detroit guy. You know, he was a big star, you know, act when I was a kid. I was talking to a guy at my LCS, Howard Corner. I don't think I have it up again. And he said that there's a book, I think I mentioned it before, a Chaos book, but it's Alice Cooper versus Chaos. And of course, there's the original cover, which is Alice Cooper battling the, you know, characters from Chaos, I guess. But he said there's a white version, you know, sketch version. So I'm going to try to find one of those. If I can find one for me, I told him if I could find a couple of them, I'll buy one for him. And he said get one if it's, you know, not crazy. Because he wants, you know, he said Alice Cooper for $100 will draw a sketch of himself. So that would be cool. But if not, I'm going to try to find something. I think you can get Funkos. I'll get something from Alice Cooper. Because I am going to the Motor City Comic Con, even though it is in October, right? Right there. October 14th through the 16th. So yeah, that's the third weekend of bow hunting. I missed it last year. I got some great signatures. I met William Shatner. So that was, did not get a deer. But I met William Shatner. And then this is the Great Lakes Comic Con, which I think they call it the Comic Expo. Oh, it's at the Macomb Expo Center, which is like 12 Mile in Warren, Michigan. This was a good show. And I'll be at this one because it's on my birthday, February 24th and 25th of 2023. So the upcoming Comic Expo dates, October 8th and December 3rd. All 2022 Comic Expos are located at the Trinity Lutheran Church School at Harper Avenue, Clinton Township, Michigan. So, I don't know if that'll put a picture of that up, and there's a QR code you might scan if you're in the area of, you know, southeast Michigan. I know next Saturday, which is the 24th of September, 2022, they're having a show at, it's in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. It's at the Bruce post of the VFW Hall. If you punch that in, it'll bring you right in on your GPS. But it's called the Dawn of the Collectors, which has, you know, a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of comics, you know, and there's some smaller dealers, some guys that have some different stuff, some interesting stuff. I think there was a guy that had mostly Golden Age stuff. I know there were some young guys that said they don't even sell online, and they do this show only. And so, I mean, I bought some stuff there. So anyway, that's that for, I just wanted to show that Comic Con's coming up. I'm enjoying going to them. Gonna try to cut down on the autographs and try to concentrate on getting more of my collection built up. I have a lot of autograph books. I have, you know, almost the same amount of, you know, the blue labels, but I want to get more blue labels. I don't need them all signed. Anyway, so I may be thinking about doing a giveaway for 100 subscribers. And I was looking at up there, if you can see it, the 9/6 copy of Legend of the Dark Knight, Knight's End, Part 10. Number 83, I believe. Oh no, just 63, number 63. So it's signed 3 times by Kitson, Hanna, and O'Neill. You know, and it's 9/6 EBCS. So I'm thinking about doing that. If I, you know, get to 100, and I may, if I can, do a couple of side prizes. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. You know, like, just share, subscribe, and keep watching My Comics Closet, where we bring comic collecting right out of the closet.